I've just been eating some cereal. Actually, homemade granola, but you know, I didn't want to look too smug. Hi guys, how you doing? I hope you're well. My name's Kate Arnell. Welcome back to my channel, and I've snuck up to the guest bedroom today to film a video. Feels a little quieter up here whilst my mum, who's staying with us, she's actually staying in this room, so I've just totally invaded her personal space. She's playing with my son in the garden, so yeah, I thought I'd steal this moment to sit down and talk through some of the personal care, makeup, beauty, skincare type of stuff that I've been using probably over the last couple of years actually. Some of it's new, some of it's stuff that I've only just tried, but yeah, I wanted to share with you guys what I have been using personally in case anybody out there on the interweb is interested. Obvious caveats are I am not a makeup or skincare or beauty or personal care expert. I'm just someone who actually doesn't do an awful lot. I'd say I'm very minimal, borderline lazy when it comes to personal care, and also quite forgetful with it. So I do often forget to put like deodorant on, or I'll just shave one underarm, or forget to brush my teeth. Everyone's got their own unique way of applying makeup and skincare and all that jazz. So yeah, you do you, I'll do what works for me, and hopefully we can still be friends. Most days I don't really wear makeup. At best I put on some moisturiser, and I'm really trying to remember to put on some SPF on my face, specifically on my top lip there, because ever since pregnancy I have developed a sort of hyperpigmentation. There's a name for it and I can't remember what the name is. It basically seems to really come up in the sunlight. So I'll talk about a product that I have been using that I think has really helped. I'll show you guys that in a minute. And also I just thought I'd give you a very quick update because I don't really read the comments. I'm sorry, but it's just one of those things that it's my personality type, or it's who I am. I'm super sensitive, and I've realised for a healthy life, healthy mind, even though I'm sure all the comments, not all of them, but most of them are really nice, and my family and friends tell me, oh, they're nice comments. My husband read through some of them on my last cleaning video, and I think one of the comments was something like, what do you do nowadays? Well, let me tell you, mostly a full-time parent. And that is a concept I didn't really fully appreciate or understand until I became a full-time mum. But yeah, just getting through the day, getting some chores done, and keeping my son happy and healthy seems to just gobble up time. I'm also someone who gets a bit overwhelmed with the amount of ideas that I have. So through my notebook, I've got 25, 30 videos that I want to film, and I get a bit overwhelmed and I'm not sure where to start, so I end up just procrastinating. So there's a bit of that too. I'm struggling to prioritise which one to film first. But I've also been a little bit productive. Well, actually mostly my husband has, but I'm involved too. We've been working on a reusable product for the last few years. It's super exciting. So I thought I'd show it to you quickly before we hop into this video. It's a reusable water bottle. It's called Bottle Cup because it has got a hidden coffee cup in the base. The lid for the coffee cup is kept in that little chamber at the bottom. That's the lid. And you just screw that back on, and that's where the lid can go when you've finished using it. It's got a little bit to sip through there, and it's basically for anyone who wants to only carry one item, one reusable water bottle, but who also love getting takeaway drinks, or maybe sometimes forget to bring their reusable coffee cup with them, or you don't have space in your bag for a reusable coffee cup, or you're often caught out because you never really think ahead, and then you're suddenly like, ooh, I'd like a takeaway coffee or any hot drink. I've actually used this for getting a beer refill, or my mum used it for wine the other day. So whatever fills your cup, literally. And then when you've finished, the lid can just go back in there, screw that back on, and the water bottle just slides back in there, and that's it. We've got various different colourways you can choose from, so I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check it out, and if you want to pre-order, even better. So there you go, that's Bottle Cup, which I've actually been working on with my husband between being a full-time mother, so trying to create content as well has just been on the back burner for a little bit. But anywho, it does fill my cup making content fills my cup. So yeah, I'm trying to squeeze it in as much as possible. But enough about me. Let's talk about my personal care. So let's start with hair care. I've actually tied mine up today because I couldn't be bothered to do anything with it except wash it. This is Beauty Kitchen. I've been using them for about 2 years, maybe longer. Before that I was using a brand called Away, which I used to take to a local hair salon. It was a glass bottle, I could refill it, but then lockdown hit and I had to kind of turn to deliveries, and now we live super remotely in Cornwall, so I'm really glad that I can have these delivered to me. I order them from the website and then actually return them via a refillable grocery service I use called the Good Club. I think they're in the process of changing their name though, but I'll put a link to them in the info box below. They basically deliver dry goods and zero waste groceries, things like personal care products, cleaning products, etc. to your door in returnable plastic tubs, and then you decant them into your own glass jars. And then they come and collect the big crate that it all arrived in. So I just put my empties for Beauty Kitchen in there so that they get sent back to Beauty Kitchen to be cleaned and refilled. But this brand is also available in, I want to say Boots, I think Sainsbury's and Holland and Barrett. And I know in Boots they've got some refill stations, so you can actually take these straight in and just refill them. Otherwise you can drop them off at stores. The store will send these back to Beauty Kitchen to be refilled. Or you can print off a free returns label via the Beauty Kitchen website and just send them all back to Beauty Kitchen, again to be cleaned and refilled. I really love the Intense Moisture one. For a while I was using just their fragrance-free one, which was great, but I've just noticed that my hair has felt a bit drier lately. Oh, it smells so good. So I switched to their Intense Moisture range, which has been really nice. I really like it. We went to New York for a baby moon, and when I was there I went to Package Free Shop and picked up some plain products because I was really excited to try them, and they are really good. I really, really enjoyed using these. I've kept the bottles partly for sentimental reasons. So if you live in the USA, then this is a really lovely refillable hair care brand. Obviously I lighten my hair as well. I go to a hairdresser who is local to me here. She's based in Falmouth and she uses like organic natural products, and I've switched to having highlights because they tend to last longer, so I don't need to get my hair dyed as often. Obviously the most zero waste option would be just to not dye my hair, but I did that in the lead up to getting pregnant and throughout my whole pregnancy, and I just don't enjoy not being bright blonde. I love being bright blonde. It just really, really brings me joy. Next up is soap. These smell amazing. So this is a brand that I've been using again for many years called Hog Tallow. This won't be for everyone because they do use tallow, which is animal fat basically, but it's a waste product and it is really excellent in soaps. So I use these soap bars just for washing my body in the shower. I'm a bit rubbish at cleaning my face, to be honest. I don't even bother using soap. I just put water on it in the shower. It's made in the UK. I buy it from Etsy. I'll link it in the info box below. But yeah, a really lovely brand that also tries to reduce waste where they can. All right, let's do moisturiser. This is a brand called Kind Beauty Zero Waste Skincare, and this is their Feel Good face cream that I've been using for, again, I want to say 3 years or 4 years, not this exact pot. I love the smell of it. It smells of lavender. Has it got lavender in it? Yes, it has. Suddenly questioning myself, and I really like it. I've just really enjoyed using it. I love the smell of it, I love the feel of it. It just sort of melts into my skin. My husband has started using it as well, and the idea is that you just send your empties back to them and they will clean them and reuse them. It's so exciting to see more and more refillable skincare brands crop up. It has quite a thick kind of creamy texture and just kind of melts in to my skin. I use that every day. It's one of the few products I really rarely forget to put on, actually. I've also started using the Hog Tallow Balm as a body moisturiser when I remember. It's made from only 3 natural ingredients, one of which is local grass-fed tallow, which is naturally compatible with our skin, and it's rich in vitamins like A, D, E and K, and it just melts into my skin. It's so nice to use. All of their packaging is plastic free and recyclable, and they source their ingredients from regenerative farms, which I love. Another tallow-based brand that I've really loved using recently is called Fierce Nature, and this is their new magnesium balm, which I've been putting on like after a bath or just on my body whenever I remember. It has been so lovely to use and it just melts into my skin. Apparently, if it tingles when you put it on your skin, it means that you might be a bit low in magnesium, and if it doesn't tingle, then you've probably got enough magnesium. For me, sometimes it tingles and sometimes it doesn't, so maybe that is the case. And I've also recently switched to their Luxe Face Balm, which I've been using on my face daily as like a daily moisturiser. It has such a like beautiful whipped cream texture and just feels really nice. The Fierce Nature products, I have to say, do come with what looks like a small like plastic disc between the product and the lid. So I messaged them about that and they said yes, it is currently plastic. They're looking for a plastic-free option and very soon they will be 100% plastic-free. Still going strong with my reusable razor. So to use a safety razor, all you have to do is twist the bottom. On this one you twist it and it just loosens the top bit and you can pull that off. Inside is just a single razor blade. And that can be easily replaced. They last quite a long time and I think you can make them last even longer if you remember to take it out and dry it between shaves, which I obviously forget to do. Boxes of razor blades that would fit a safety razor like this are actually really affordable and they last such a long time that you don't really need to replace them very often.
I'm filming.
Yeah, I'm filming. You can come in, yeah.
What are you filming about?
I'm talking about some of the personal care products that I use.
Like this?
Yeah, like all those bits down there, yeah.
Mm.
Right, let's do deodorant next. I actually just think I've forgotten to put some on today. Just remembered. This is the brand I've been using for ever since pre-pregnancy actually. I used to use bicarbonate of soda, just patted onto my underarms, and that was fine for ages. And then suddenly one day I just started to feel a bit sensitive to it. So I discovered Scent, which is a Cornish brand, and they make really lovely skincare products in compostable plastic-free tubes. I used their fragrance-free unscented one during pregnancy, and ever since then I've been using their cedar one. I just love the smell of it. It just smells so good. It's not an antiperspirant, and I think most natural deodorants aren't antiperspirant, which is, in my opinion, a good thing. So yeah, I love this brand, especially when I remember to put it on. This same brand, Scent, have just launched this product, which I'm super excited about. It's an SPF stick. It's SPF 30, natural zinc sunscreen, no titanium dioxide, which is great. I'll get more onto that in a little bit in this video. Broad spectrum protection. Wow, let me try and say that again. Reef safe non-nano mineral sunscreen. It just glides on really easily. It's been really easy to put on my son actually. It seems to be just easy to put on his skin and then he can rub it in himself. Instead of having to like pour something out and try and rub it onto his face or to his arms, I can just wipe this over and let it rub in. Another one that I've just started to try out is called Upcircle. They use a lot of ingredients that would otherwise have gone to waste, so they sort of save ingredients from being thrown away and put them into these products. I actually got in touch with them because I wanted to try their SPF. I'm updating an old blog post that I wrote ages ago on zero waste and plastic free sunscreens because there are so many options now. When I first wrote that blog post, there were about one UK option, a few from the US and like one in Australia, and that was it. So there's loads now, and I wanted to try different ones to kind of actually get a sense of what they're like, because I like to try things before I kind of recommend them. The idea with this brand is that you can send back your empties to be refilled. This is another zinc only SPF. So I try personally, just in general, in all like personal care products, I try and avoid titanium dioxide. It's been especially tricky to find titanium dioxide free makeup, and sometimes it's tricky to find titanium dioxide free SPF, but there are loads of options now that are just using zinc oxide, especially non-nano zinc oxide. I'll put some links in the info box below if you want to like geek out on that a bit more. What I'm finding now is that loads of plastic free sunscreen don't really leave much, if any, white cast, which used to be a bit of an issue. I'd only asked to try their SPF, but they also sent me their face mask and their face scrub. I actually haven't tried these yet, but I'm super excited to try them. And they've also got these little cosmetic spatulas, which are quite useful, I think, especially if you've got products in tubs. Those can be used on the product. I am the sort of person to just use my fingers, dip in, and that's just how I roll. But I know that's not for everyone and will probably freak a lot of people out. So there are spatulas to use for your products if you ever needed them, and those are also from Upcircle. I've also been trying their facial moisturiser recently as well, which is lovely. It's also a great option if you're not into the whole idea of tallow. Upcircle are an affordable, refillable British brand, and they really go out of their way to encourage refills for like over 90% of their skincare range. And they offer free post labels to return empties to be refilled and get a 20% discount on all refills. They are quite an exciting brand, and they have some very new and like interesting products launching soon, such as hair care. So definitely follow them on Instagram if you're interested, and keep an eye out because I've noticed lots of refill shops have started stocking Upcircle refills. So yes, I'm writing a blog post about different SPFs, but in the meantime I think I'll just quickly, why not, show you some of the ones I've been using. This one by Sense I've just shown you, really good. I love the smell of it. It glides on and it works really well. Another brand is So Sunny. So this one is just a zinc oxide based sunscreen, and it's refillable, so you get the bottles and then you can buy pouches after that, which are recyclable and home compostable, and it just rubs in really easily without leaving any kind of whiteness on there. It does have a stronger scent to it, but it doesn't say that it has any fragrance in the ingredients, so it's just one of the ingredients must have like quite a, not floral, but just, yeah, a smell to it, which is nice though. Eau de Lique is another one. They are a UK brand. They're certified organic by the Soil Association, and again it's another zinc oxide based one. This one again just melts in really easily, doesn't leave any coloration actually. That is by a brand called Sunita London, non-nano zinc oxide, and this one I use on my face quite often and it just melts in really easily. You can buy it in different types of packaging. I chose the craft box, but I think you can also get it in glass as well. And this just again glides right in. Where should I do this one? How about there? Just glides right into my skin. It has a really lovely smell to it as well. This looks like such a tiny jar, but I bought it as a kind of like small sample size to try it out first. It's an SPF tinted mineral sunscreen by a brand called Cree. I think that's how you pronounce it. I just recently discovered them actually. And you can get a non-tinted one as well. You can buy the samples, you get one of each to try, and that's what it looks like on the inside. I've just found two more sunscreens that I meant to quickly show you. This one is a brand called Amazing. This one's quite liquidy and is quite good for like all over the body. And this one I haven't tried yet, but I'm going to try it for my blog post. The brand is called Sol de Ibiza. I think they're fairly new to the sunscreen scene. I'll let you know how I get on in my blog post. So like I said about the hyperpigmentation, there is a name for it and I really can't remember what it is, but anyway, basically it becomes quite common apparently during pregnancy and postpartum and beyond. But I have got a patch there that seems to be quite sensitive to sunlight and goes really like mottled and brown, and it's just something I feel a bit like I want to try and protect a little bit. So I have been putting sunscreen on it every day, and I really try and remember that, and I'm not good at remembering these things, so I'm making a real effort to try and remember that. And what I did actually was speak to the guys at Inlight, who I know. They're a lovely Cornish skincare brand, so I'm unboxing their product here without showing it to you. So they've got this product, it's a line softener, but it has seemed to really help reduce the appearance of the hyperpigmentation for me. So I firstly emailed them, I was like, do you think it will help? And they said, very likely yes. So, and they also said make sure you also protect your skin from the sun, so put an SPF on there, which I have been doing. It comes with this little wooden applicator if that's your vibe. So yeah, really lovely, certified organic, Cornish brand. that I know and love. I've been to their HQ, I've seen them make the products, I've seen how they create some of the ingredients for their products, and yeah, if you just read the reviews on this as well on their website, it's just like 5-star, 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 amazing reviews. Inlight also sent me this lovely organic cotton like headband to put around my head when I'm actually doing any skincare or makeup. Recently been using like an old piece of elastic that came off a pair of Arthur's pants or something, I can't remember. It was like an old piece of elastic. I thought I'll just put that around. It's kind of worked, but not really. So it's nice to actually have something that actually is designed to go around my head. Like that. There you go. Okay, oral health. Where to start? Let's start with toothbrushes. So, I've got two kiddies ones here. Hang on. I'll be right back. Now this is quite exciting because many years ago, when I first started out making YouTube videos, I said out loud that I would love it if Brush with Bamboo would be available in the UK. And they saw that video. So I'm thrilled, thrilled that I can now buy Brush with Bamboo in the UK and have been doing for the last few years. So I actually met with Ro from Brush with Bamboo several years ago when he was over in London, and he said, we saw that video and we're like, we need to get over to the UK. So it's just kind of nice. It made me feel like really special. They are the only certified organic bamboo toothbrush that I'm aware of. The bristles made from castor bean oil, 100% castor bean oil instead of petroleum-based plastic. I love that they've got a bit of a curve. I've just really enjoyed using these, and I have used other bamboo toothbrushes in my time. We also have the kiddies one. Where is it? Here it is. And Arthur's just been using these ever since we started brushing his teeth, really. And that's what it looks like. Just a little mini version, really, of the... Hang on, let me put it next to the adult size one. That's the adult one, and that's the kiddies one. Brush with Bamboo also gave me their tongue scraper. And the idea is you just pick out the tongue and scrape down, and it helps remove sort of the gunky bacteria stuff on your tongue. I try and remember to use this, and I've been using it kind of on and off for the last few years, but I'm really making a concerted effort to incorporate this into my daily oral hygiene practice. I'm just learning more about the oral microbiome, how important it is and how it's connected to the rest of our body. I'll put a few links to things down in the info box in case you want to geek out on that side of things. But I would definitely recommend following Ask the Dentist, either on his blog or his Instagram or his podcast. All super informative. Floss, let's talk floss. So far, this is the only brand that I could find that used a natural floss from silk. All the others seem to be cornstarch, and I'm firstly not sure if that's GMO, and I'm secondly not sure if that's completely plastic free, because I have heard some cases where they thought it was plastic free and then it's actually not, or sometimes it's just pure nylon. So this one I found on Etsy. It's made from piece silk, so the silkworms aren't really harmed during the harvesting of the silk, and it's refillable, so you just buy this glass tube once and then you can buy the refills in this little box, and I'll link that in the info box below. Flossing, again, something I'm trying to remember to do daily every year for my New Year's resolution. I'm like, I'm going to remember to floss, and then that sort of lasts for the first couple of days of January and then I just forget. So I am really trying again to put on my SPF, use my tongue scraper and floss between my teeth. Okay, toothpaste. So the brand that I was using, and I still really love them, it's called Truthpaste. They've had a bit of a rebrand. This is their kids one, which Arthur was using for quite a while. Zero waste, completely natural, and just you get quite a decent sized tub of it, to be honest. It smells really nice. This flavour is sweet orange. I have since learned about hydroxyapatite, which has been proven to be as effective, if not more effective, than fluoride. And I'll put some links in the info box below in case you want to read up on that. From what I read, it's a great alternative to fluoride. It's non-toxic, and our body actually produces hydroxyapatite anyway. But finding a toothpaste that is plastic free with hydroxyapatite and fluoride free has been a bit of a challenge. And from what I've read, the amount of hydroxyapatite in the toothpaste is actually pretty important as well. So I did find some on Etsy, but it had such a tiny amount of hydroxyapatite in it that I don't know if it was really having an effect. I have found that David's now have a, what's it called, sensitive and whitening toothpaste, which is fluoride free and contains hydroxyapatite. They use nano-hydroxyapatite, which I have read good things about. But then also recently I read some articles questioning if nanoparticles are that great for our health. Personally, when it comes to hydroxyapatite, from what I've read, I'm okay with it for now. I've also recently discovered this brand. I've only just started using them. So far, I like them. They're called Smile, and they make plastic-free tooth tablets, which also contain hydroxyapatite. And if fluoride is important to you, personally I try and avoid it, but you can choose whether you want a fluoride option or a fluoride-free option. So I like that it actually gives people a choice, because I know some people are very keen on having fluoride in their oral health care products, and other people like myself are keen to avoid it. So it's quite nice that you can actually just make a choice depending on what you actually personally want. You can also get toothpastes that contain natural hydroxyapatite. So the brand that we've been using for Arthur is called Rise Well. The flavour is cake batter. It does come in a plastic tube, and this is one of those things that I've just thought, you know what, we're just going to try it and see if we like it, and I'm just going to keep bothering the company about their packaging until they finally make a change. David's toothpaste comes in a metal tube, which is recyclable. It does have a plastic cap. We have signed up to, it's like a UK version of TerraCycle. They've recently changed their name. It was reworked, but I think it's called something else now. I'll link them in the info box below. So you can put things like these plastic lids into that to be recycled. What I like about them is that they actually tell you what they recycle their products into. So it's things like furniture, shop signs, plant pots, that sort of stuff. Oh, I forgot to say about this one. There's a really great blog post on their website that shows an independent test that they had done against all the other leading hydroxyapatite toothpastes, and these guys came up as performing the best, which I thought was great. So it's a mostly plastic-free option with some really good results with the hydroxyapatite. And yeah, this brand, I really like them. I just want them to change their packaging. So I have emailed them once, but I'll definitely email them again. And hey, if you feel like you want to email Risewell, that might help too. You never know. Okay, finally, we're on to makeup. Where should I start? I feel overwhelmed. Let's start with primer, which is something I actually never really thought to use much before, but I did used to work in TV, and I remember the makeup artists always used to put primer on. So then I was like, there must be a reason. Maybe it does have some positive effects. So I found this one. It's made by Peace with the Wild. They are an online shop. They've just started selling like dry goods and like foods and stuff, but predominantly it's like bath and body, health, beauty, wellness stuff. And this is their own brand makeup primer, and I think it does help like my makeup stay on my face a bit longer. I think I do have quite, what's the word, like skin that absorbs things quite a lot, quite thirsty skin, even though that's the one part of my body I do remember to moisturise. So it's always sort of soaked up makeup after a couple of hours, but I do find it tends to last longer when I put a primer on. So I'm just experimenting with this one at the moment. I really like the texture. It's quite kind of almost like a whipped texture. Sorry I didn't use a spatula just then, for anybody who's slightly freaked out by that, but it's just who I am. So yeah, it rubs into your skin quite easily. So I put that on my skin usually after an SPF. I did Google it, and apparently it's a good idea to put any SPF on first and then your makeup primer, so that sits on top. So the other day I was just browsing Etsy, as I do, for zero waste makeup products, and I came across a brand I hadn't heard of before. They're called MG Naturals. It's an Australian brand, and they do titanium dioxide free makeup. Their foundation comes in a little glass jar with a metal lid, and it is a really nice foundation. It has really good coverage. Let's just say I've been super pleasantly surprised at how nice this is. And they have a very wide range of skin tones that they cater for. Obviously it can be a bit tricky to figure out exactly what colour you need for your skin tone. They do have some videos on their Instagram which I'd say are worth checking out, because they do kind of give you an idea of what they will look like. I went for Creamy Natural, which I think is actually quite good. I would say I'm really happy with this, and I think it's a good sort of all year round shade for me. I'm just super excited to have found this product. It's really good, and the brand and their whole ethos seem really lovely. They seem to offer some refills. They did send me a refill pouch, so just to give you an idea, that's what it looks like. It does come with some like plastic on top. I'm not fully sure what all the materials in this are, but I can always just buy this glass jar in future again. And they also include a sample in the box so that you can try that first to make sure that you're happy with the colour that you've chosen for your skin tone. And if not, it gives you the option to actually return the unopened, unused, larger product if that's what you've ordered, which I think is actually a very clever idea, especially if you're mostly selling online to people. Sometimes if I can't be bothered just to put any makeup on at all, but I've got like a little spot or something that I feel like just needs a quick bit of cover, I will use this concealer by My Essence. Again, they are a titanium dioxide free makeup brand. I think this is made from sugarcane plastic instead of fossil fuel petroleum based plastic, but I think it just goes into your like regular plastic recycling. So it is plastic, but it's slightly different plastic, if that makes sense. I think the shade I've gone for is probably just slightly on the darker side than I need, but it kind of works and I really like it. I've had this for a while because I don't use it that often, but it is handy to have. And then recently I've discovered a mascara that comes in a glass tube. I would love it if they would just sell the glass tube with like a little metal cap or something, so I might email them about that. The brand is called La Bouche Rouge. I really like this actually. I have to say I have been on one heck of a journey when it comes to mascara. So for a long time I've just not bothered wearing any because it was really tricky to find any that kind of met the standards that I'd set for myself. I have tried some cake mascaras. They're okay, but I don't know why they always come in a tin because it feels so difficult to put the mascara wand into that shape. Like a mascara wand feels like it's designed to go in a tube. So I've been using cake mascaras for a while. I'll link one in the info box in case you are interested for the one that I did use, and it was okay. But then I tried this and I'm like, aha! This is what I've missed. I've missed having like a mascara that only needs 1 or 2 coats, goes on, actually looks effective and just feels nice. I'm wearing it now, you probably can't see so well on this. I have recently seen a few brands bringing like either a zero waste refillable mascara option out or one that comes in glass. So I'll link some of those in the info box below, and I just think it's quite exciting to see a few more options available other than cake mascara in a tin. I even tried making my own again recently as I thought maybe I just didn't get it right the first few attempts, and yeah, it still wasn't great, so I'm sticking with this. Next up is this eye kohl by Fat and the Moon. I just love that brand. I love their design, just everything about them. I love it. So I've been using their eyeliner or eye kohl as an eyeliner for a long time and really enjoy it. I did have their brown one as well, which I used for a long time, but have recently gone back to using their black one. The brown one is quite useful if you like eyeshadow, so you can kind of like just dab it on like an eyeshadow, but sort of just really gone off eyeshadow. It's one extra thing to not have to do to my face. So yeah, I really like using this as an eyeliner, and I just apply it with a very like small angled brush, and it glides on really easily. It's just a delightful product to use. When it comes to lip colour, I've mostly been using this one by Fat and the Moon. Now it does say that it may contain titanium dioxide on the back, so I actually contacted them to find out if this specific colour did contain titanium dioxide, and they said that it didn't. So this one is Clay Idol, and I really like the shade of it. It's a sort of like orangey red. And then also 100% Pure make lovely fruit pigmented lip colours. I've been using some of their products for a few years and I really like them. They aren't totally plastic free, but they are kind of mostly. So I couldn't do a video about personal care without mentioning period pants. These just weren't really around when I first got into the whole like zero waste lifestyle. There you go, here's my undies. So I went down the whole menstrual cup route, and then after pregnancy, I basically bought loads of reusable pads. I found those in Package Free Shop as well. They were one of the only brands that doesn't use like a sort of like plastic inner. I'll link them in the info box below, and I've since found another version which again is just like layers of organic cotton. So I got into using those postpartum, as well as period pants. So my original ones were by Thinx, and they were made from organic cotton. I liked them. They're now they're just like worn to shreds because I've worn them loads. But also they're just slightly too big, as my body is just constantly changing shape and size. It's a whole roller coaster. So now I thought I'd try these ones by Modibody. I hope that's how you say the brand. They actually sent me these for free because I asked them for a pair. I was like, can I please try them? They are the first 100% biodegradable period pant that has ever been made. So this can be buried at the end of its useful life. I think you might have to take the elastic off. Maybe that's the one thing you have to take off. But the rest of it is 100% compostable. They're made from a blend of tencel and merino wool. So those are the ones by Modibody that I really like. And then I've got some from another brand called Wooker, and they're a British brand. And they're made from organic cotton, and they have a really clever kind of adjustable side straps where the band sits sort of around your hips, and you can change it, so you can loosen it or tighten it. So it would be great if you're going from postpartum and need a bigger size, and then as your body sort of changes shape, you can adjust it, make it smaller, make it bigger, so it fits a wide size bracket, which I just think is such a clever idea. I have been a bit of a convert to period pants. I am considering getting a menstrual cup, which I think would be useful for when I'm swimming and stuff. So I'm really keen to try one made from natural rubber, and I've seen Heavier, who make a lot of like natural rubber baby products and bath toys, and we use their bath mat and stuff. They have got one called the Loop Cup. So I think I'm going to get one of those and try it out. I'll report back if I do get one and let you know how it goes. Other random personal care bits that I felt like I wanted to mention towards the end of this video. These are patch plasters. They are just regular band-aids made from bamboo, which are 100% biodegradable. They're free from latex. This is the kids version, so it's got little pandas on it. We don't really get many cuts or grazes, but my kid really loves these. And they have been handy to have. I've also found these plastic-free plasters or band-aids, which are also made from bamboo, and they seem to be much more affordable than the patch plasters. So we've kind of switched to these ones a bit more recently because my son kind of wants to put them on any cut possible. I think he just likes opening plasters and feeling the stickiness. Pulling out random bits now. These are the hairbands I use. They're by a brand called Kushu. Actually, no, these ones are by a different brand. I'll link them in the info box below. But again, it's like natural rubber and organic cotton. I think, / hope, that's everything. Oh, I'm going to quickly show you one last thing. This is a wash bag, and it's made from repurposed fire hoses. It's by a lovely brand called Elvis and Cressy, and they basically give new life to materials that would otherwise go to landfill. They are a really amazing company. I went to visit them a few years ago, and this is the wash bag that I've had for quite a while. I love it. It's really durable. I'm just looking around thinking, is there anything I've missed? But I think that's pretty much everything. I've created quite a scene of chaos around me here, but hopefully you can't see it. Oh yes, I should probably mention this again one last time. Bottle Cup, go check it out. I'm super proud of it. If you think it's something that you would be interested in and you want to check out like the materials that it's made from, all the different spec and the different colours that are available, then I'll put a link in the info box below. And thank you if you do go and check it out, and an even bigger thank you if you go and pre-order one. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I've got about 100 others that I want to film, so I'm really trying to get on it. But thank you for putting up with how sporadic I am. And I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye.